Question 1. Analysis of a certified real-time reporter's responsibilities when transcribing proceedings where an audio recording serves as the primary source, considering potential variations in evidence rules across different jurisdictions regarding the authentication and admissibility of such recordings. Option A. The reporter should omit any specific mention of the audio recording source or existence in the transcript to avoid complicating the record with technical details. Option B. The reporter should meticulously transcribe the proceedings, accurately noting the source of the audio, and ensure all timestamps and recording metadata are preserved as part of the official record, without offering any interpretation or advice on the audio's admissibility. Option C. The reporter should provide guidance to the legal counsel on the specific evidentiary standards for audio recordings in the relevant jurisdiction to ensure the recording's admissibility. Option D. The reporter should proactively add annotations to the transcript, detailing their assessment of the audio recording's quality and any potential technical issues that might affect its evidentiary value. The correct answer is B. The reporter should meticulously transcribe the proceedings, accurately noting the source of the audio, and ensure all timestamps and recording metadata are preserved as part of the official record, without offering any interpretation or advice on the audio's admissibility. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, due to the inherent tension between the immediate need for accurate transcription and the evolving legal landscape regarding the admissibility of digital evidence, specifically audio recordings, in different jurisdictions. The CRR must navigate potential discrepancies in evidentiary rules that dictate how such recordings are authenticated, preserved, and presented in court, impacting their role in ensuring the integrity of the record. The challenge lies in anticipating and understanding these jurisdictional nuances without overstepping professional boundaries or providing legal advice. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach emphasizes the CRR's core responsibility to accurately and impartially transcribe the proceedings as they occur, while maintaining meticulous records of the source audio. This aligns with the ethical canons and professional standards for CRRs, which prioritize accuracy, integrity, and neutrality. By focusing on the quality and integrity of the verbatim record and the associated metadata, like timestamps and source identification, the CRR provides the foundational evidence that legal professionals will then use to address admissibility under the relevant jurisdictional rules. This approach respects the division of roles, where the CRR's duty is to create the record, and the legal counsel's duty is to ensure its legal compliance. Incorrect approach is analysis. One incorrect approach involves proactively attempting to pre-authenticate the audio recording by adding specific notations about its perceived quality or potential issues beyond a factual description of the recording itself. This oversteps the CRR's role by venturing into an area of legal interpretation and evidentiary assessment, which is the purview of the court and legal counsel. It could lead to the CRR inadvertently influencing the perceived reliability of the evidence or creating a record that is biased by their subjective assessment, violating the principle of impartiality. Another incorrect approach is to omit any mention of the audio recording's existence or source in the official transcript, even if it was the primary source of the proceedings. This failure to document a critical element of the evidentiary chain is a direct breach of professional duty to create a complete and accurate record. It undermines the transparency and traceability of the transcription process, potentially rendering the transcript unreliable and inadmissible, and failing to meet the standards of professional practice for maintaining a comprehensive record. A further incorrect approach would be to advise the parties involved on the specific legal requirements for audio evidence admissibility in a particular jurisdiction. This constitutes providing legal advice, which is outside the scope of a CRR's certification and ethical obligations. Such advice could be inaccurate, misleading, and have serious legal consequences for the parties, exposing the CRR to liability and professional sanctions. Professional reasoning. Professionals in this situation should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes their defined scope of practice and ethical obligations. This involves 1. Identifying the core professional duty. In this case, it is the accurate and impartial creation of a verbatim record. 2. Recognizing jurisdictional boundaries, understanding that evidentiary rules are determined by the specific court and jurisdiction, and that the CRR's role is to provide the factual record, not to interpret or apply legal rules. 3. Maintaining meticulous documentation, ensuring all aspects of the recording and transcription process are accurately documented, including the source of the audio. 4. Consulting professional guidelines, referencing the ethical canons and standards of practice for certified real-time reporters to ensure all actions are compliant. 5. Seeking clarification when necessary. If there are ambiguities in the instructions or the recording process, the CRR should seek clarification from the presiding official or legal counsel, strictly within the bounds of their professional role. 6. Avoiding the unauthorized practice of law, refraining from offering any opinions or advice on legal matters, including evidence admissibility. Question 2. Stakeholder feedback indicates that during a critical deposition, a subtle, intermittent timing drift was observed in the real-time feed, causing a slight delay between the spoken word and its appearance on screen. As the certified real-time reporter, you notice this drift, which, while not causing immediate unintelligibility, could potentially impact the precise synchronization required for the official record. What is the most appropriate course of action? Option A. Immediately pause the deposition to troubleshoot and rectify the timing issue, ensuring perfect synchronization before proceeding. Option B. Continue the deposition, making a mental note to address any significant discrepancies during the post-deposition review and editing process. Option C. Discreetly attempt to manually adjust the real-time feed's timing in real time to compensate for the observed drift without interrupting the proceedings. Option D. Inform the participants of the observed timing drift and its potential implications, and proceed with the deposition while actively monitoring and documenting the issue for later correction. Correct answer is A. Immediately pause the deposition to troubleshoot and rectify the timing issue, ensuring perfect synchronization before proceeding. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge due to the inherent tension between the immediate need for accurate transcription and the potential for subtle but significant timing discrepancies that can impact the integrity of the official record. As a certified real-time reporter, maintaining precise synchronization between the spoken word and the real-time feed is paramount. The challenge lies in identifying and rectifying timing issues without compromising the flow of the proceeding or introducing new errors. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes the accuracy and integrity of the official record above all else. Adhering to the established protocols for identifying and addressing timing drift ensures that the real-time feed is a faithful representation of the spoken word, meeting the stringent requirements of the Certified Real-Time Reporter certification. This proactive and systematic approach aligns with the ethical obligation to provide a complete and accurate transcript, preventing potential disputes or misinterpretations that could arise from even minor timing inaccuracies. It also demonstrates a commitment to continuous improvement and adherence to professional standards. An incorrect approach that involves ignoring the subtle timing drift, even if it appears minor, represents a significant regulatory and ethical failure. This failure stems from a disregard for the precision demanded by the profession. Such an oversight can lead to a compromised record, where the real-time text is not perfectly aligned with the audio, potentially causing confusion for participants and later for those reviewing the transcript. This directly violates the core responsibility of a certified real-time reporter to produce an accurate and reliable record. Another incorrect approach, such as attempting to manually adjust the timing in a way that is not standardized or verifiable, introduces an element of subjectivity and potential for error. This deviates from established best practices and could lead to an inconsistent or inaccurate record. It fails to address the root cause of the timing issue and may mask underlying technical problems, ultimately undermining the credibility of the real-time feed. A professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a systematic evaluation of the real-time feed's accuracy. This includes actively monitoring for any deviations in synchronization, understanding the technical causes of such deviations, and applying established protocols for correction. When a timing issue is detected, the reporter must first attempt to identify and resolve the technical cause. If the issue persists or is subtle, the reporter should consult with relevant parties, e.g., court personnel, technical support, and document any adjustments made. The ultimate goal is to ensure the real-time feed is as accurate as possible, reflecting the spoken word without distortion or delay, thereby upholding the professional standards and ethical obligations of a certified real-time reporter. Question 3. Benchmark analysis indicates that real-time display methods can significantly impact the comprehension of proceedings for participants relying on live captioning. In a complex evidentiary hearing where multiple attorneys are frequently interjecting and the judge is actively managing the flow, what is the most appropriate method for presenting the real-time text to ensure clarity and verbatim accuracy for all participants? Option A. Temporarily halting the real-time feed during rapid exchanges to prevent the text from becoming jumbled and unreadable. Option B. Implementing a system that automatically summarizes or condenses spoken statements to reduce text volume and improve readability. Option C. Displaying the real-time text with advanced formatting, including automatic paragraphing and sentence completion, to create a more polished and readable output. Option D. Presenting the real-time text with clear speaker identification and minimal formatting, allowing for natural pauses and interruptions to be reflected accurately. The correct answer is D. Presenting the real-time text with clear speaker identification and minimal formatting, allowing for natural pauses and interruptions to be reflected accurately. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, due to the inherent tension between delivering immediate, accurate transcriptions and ensuring the clarity and accessibility of that information to all participants in a legal proceeding. The CRR must balance the technical demands of real-time captioning with the legal and ethical obligations to provide a faithful and understandable record. The challenge lies in selecting the most appropriate method for presenting real-time text when the standard display might not be optimal for the specific context, requiring a nuanced understanding of the rules of court and professional standards. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes the integrity of the record and the accessibility of information to all parties, aligning with the fundamental duties of a court reporter. By offering a choice that enhances comprehension without altering the verbatim nature of the transcription, the CRR demonstrates a commitment to facilitating the legal process. This proactive measure ensures that the real-time feed serves its intended purpose of providing immediate access to the proceedings in a usable format, thereby upholding the principles of fairness and due process. An incorrect approach that involves omitting or significantly altering the real-time display without explicit consent or a clear procedural basis would be a regulatory and ethical failure. Such an action could impede a party's ability to follow the proceedings, potentially impacting their ability to participate effectively or prepare their case. This would violate the CRR's duty to provide an accurate and accessible record. Another incorrect approach, such as unilaterally deciding on a complex, non-standard display format without consulting the court or parties, could lead to confusion and misinterpretation, undermining the purpose of real-time reporting and potentially violating court rules that govern the presentation of evidence and proceedings. Professional decision-making in similar situations requires a thorough understanding of the applicable rules of court, the specific needs of the participants, judge, attorneys, parties, and the capabilities of the real-time technology. The CRR should always aim for transparency, seeking guidance from the court or parties when uncertain about the best method for real-time presentation. The primary consideration should be the verbatim accuracy and the clear, understandable delivery of the spoken word to all who rely on the real-time feed. Question 4. Research into the management of real-time dictionaries by certified real-time reporters reveals varying strategies for incorporating new or specialized terminology. Considering the paramount importance of accuracy and the verbatim nature of the official record, which of the following approaches to updating a real-time dictionary best aligns with professional standards and regulatory expectations for a certified real-time reporter? Option A. Relying exclusively on automated dictionary suggestions and predictive text features to populate new entries, assuming these systems are designed for optimal accuracy. Option B. Developing a rigorous testing protocol for all new dictionary entries, including verification of spelling, definition, and context, before their widespread use in live reporting. Option C. Adding new terms only after they have been used in multiple unrelated proceedings, without specific verification, to ensure broad applicability. Option D. Implementing new terms immediately upon encountering them in a proceeding, trusting the inherent accuracy of the source and the reporter's ability to self-correct during transcription. The correct answer is D. Implementing new terms immediately upon encountering them in a proceeding, trusting the inherent accuracy of the source and the reporter's ability to self-correct during transcription. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, due to the critical need for accuracy and adherence to established best practices in managing their real-time dictionary. The challenge lies in balancing the efficiency gains of incorporating new terms with the absolute requirement of maintaining the integrity and reliability of the transcript. A CRR's dictionary is not merely a tool for speed. It is a fundamental component of their professional output, directly impacting the legal record. The pressure to keep pace with evolving terminology, particularly in specialized fields, necessitates a systematic and validated approach to dictionary updates. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes accuracy, consistency, and compliance with the standards expected of a CRR. By thoroughly testing and verifying new entries before widespread use, the reporter ensures that the dictionary remains a reliable tool and does not introduce errors into the official record. This methodical process aligns with the ethical obligation to produce a verbatim transcript and upholds the credibility of the reporting profession. It demonstrates a commitment to quality control that is paramount in legal and official proceedings. An incorrect approach that involves immediately adding new terms without verification poses significant regulatory and ethical failures. It risks introducing misspellings, incorrect definitions, or inappropriate abbreviations into the transcript, thereby compromising the verbatim nature of the record. This failure directly violates the CRR's duty to produce an accurate and complete transcript, potentially leading to misinterpretations or disputes in legal proceedings. Furthermore, it undermines the trust placed in the reporter by the court, clients, and parties involved. Another incorrect approach, such as relying solely on automated suggestions without human review, similarly fails to meet the professional standard of diligence. Automated systems can lack context or nuance, leading to the inclusion of incorrect or ambiguous entries that a skilled reporter would identify and correct. This demonstrates a lack of professional judgment and a disregard for the meticulous attention to detail required. The professional reasoning process for similar situations should involve a systematic evaluation of any proposed dictionary modification. This includes understanding the context in which the new term will be used, researching its correct spelling and definition, and testing its functionality in a controlled environment before integrating it into live reporting. A CRR should always ask, does this addition enhance accuracy and efficiency without introducing any risk of error? This question guides decision-making towards practices that safeguard the integrity of the transcript and uphold professional standards. Question 5. System analysis indicates that a certified real-time reporter is transcribing a deposition involving complex medical terminology. The speaker is using a rapid pace and occasionally employs jargon not previously encountered by the reporter, which steno theory principle, when applied diligently, is most critical for ensuring an accurate and verbatim record in this scenario. Option A. The systematic application of phonetic principles to construct steno strokes for all spoken sounds, including the breakdown of unfamiliar terms into their constituent phonetic components. Option B. The strategic use of personal, non-standard abbreviations to expedite transcription of frequently used but complex phrases. Option C. The prioritization of capturing the general meaning of complex terms rather than their precise phonetic construction. Option D. The reliance on memory recall of previously transcribed similar terms without phonetic analysis. The correct answer is A. The systematic application of phonetic principles to construct steno strokes for all spoken sounds, including the breakdown of unfamiliar terms into their constituent phonetic components. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a common challenge for certified real-time reporters, CRR, where the rapid pace of speech and the complexity of legal terminology necessitate precise steno theory application. The challenge lies in maintaining absolute accuracy and verbatim transcription while adhering to established steno principles, especially when encountering unfamiliar or highly technical vocabulary. The reporter must balance speed with fidelity, ensuring that every word is captured correctly without introducing errors or omissions. This requires a deep understanding of steno theory, including phonetic principles, stroke construction, and the strategic use of abbreviations and brief forms. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach involves a systematic application of steno theory principles to accurately capture the spoken word. This means utilizing the reporter's knowledge of phonetic sounds to construct appropriate steno strokes, employing established brief forms and abbreviations for common words and phrases to enhance speed and efficiency, and applying principles of stroke combination and word building to represent complex terms. For instance, when encountering a technical term, the reporter would break it down phonetically, construct the corresponding stenostrokes, and ensure the final output is a verbatim representation. This approach directly aligns with the core competency of a CRR, which is to produce an accurate and complete record of proceedings. Adherence to steno theory ensures consistency, legibility, and the ability to produce a reliable transcript, which is a fundamental requirement for legal proceedings and a cornerstone of professional practice for CRRs. Incorrect approaches analysis. One incorrect approach would be to prioritize speed over accuracy by guessing at the phonetic construction of unfamiliar words or by omitting words deemed too difficult to transcribe in real time. This fails to meet the verbatim requirement of the CRR role and introduces significant risk of misrepresentation of the record, which is a serious ethical and professional failing. It also undermines the integrity of the legal process that relies on an accurate transcript. Another incorrect approach would be to rely solely on memory or intuition for complex terms without applying established steno theory principles. While a reporter may have a vast vocabulary, relying on memory alone can lead to inconsistencies and errors, especially under pressure. Steno theory provides a structured and repeatable method for transcription, ensuring that even unfamiliar terms can be transcribed with a high degree of accuracy. Failure to apply theory can result in a transcript that is difficult to read, potentially inaccurate, and does not meet professional standards. A third incorrect approach would be to use non-standard or personal shorthand that deviates significantly from accepted steno theory. While some personal adaptations are common, a departure that renders the notes unintelligible to others or that is not based on phonetic principles can lead to transcription errors and compromise the integrity of the record. This approach fails to uphold the professional standard of producing a transcript that is both accurate and interpretable. Professional reasoning. Professionals should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes a thorough understanding and application of steno theory. This involves continuous learning and practice to master phonetic principles, brief forms, and stroke construction. When faced with challenging vocabulary, the reporter should systematically apply these principles, breaking down words phonetically and constructing strokes accordingly. If a word remains exceptionally difficult, the reporter should prioritize capturing the phonetic sound as accurately as possible, even if it requires a slightly longer stroke, rather than guessing or omitting. Post-proceeding review is crucial to identify and correct any potential errors, ensuring the final transcript is a true and accurate representation of the spoken record. This methodical approach, grounded in theory, ensures the highest level of accuracy and professionalism. Question 6. The control framework reveals that a certified real-time reporter is experiencing a temporary but significant reduction in their real-time stenography speed and accuracy due to a sudden onset of severe migraine symptoms during a critical deposition. Which of the following actions best upholds the professional and ethical obligations of the reporter in this scenario? Option A. Immediately inform the court reporter supervisor and the attorneys present about the situation, explaining the temporary limitation and proposing to bring in a qualified backup reporter to ensure the integrity and continuity of the record. Option B. Discreetly inform a colleague reporter outside the room about the symptoms and ask them to subtly signal if the reporter's output appears to be significantly compromised, without directly alerting the court or attorneys. Option C. Stop transcribing immediately and leave the deposition room without providing any explanation or proposing alternative solutions to the parties present. Option D. Continue to attempt transcription at the reduced speed and accuracy, hoping the symptoms will subside quickly and the record will remain usable, without informing anyone of the impairment. The correct answer is A. Immediately inform the court reporter supervisor and the attorneys present about the situation, explaining the temporary limitation and proposing to bring in a qualified backup reporter to ensure the integrity and continuity of the record. Explanation. The control framework reveals a scenario where a certified real-time reporter, CRR, is experiencing a temporary dip in their real-time speed and accuracy due to an unexpected personal health issue. This situation is professionally challenging because the core competency of a CRR is to provide verbatim, instantaneous transcription, which is directly impacted by speed and accuracy. Maintaining this standard is paramount for legal proceedings, ensuring that all spoken words are captured accurately and without delay, which is a fundamental requirement for due process and record-keeping. The CRR must balance their professional obligation to deliver high-quality service with their personal well-being. The correct approach involves proactive communication and seeking appropriate accommodations. This aligns with professional ethical standards that emphasize integrity, competence, and responsibility. By informing the court or relevant parties immediately about the temporary limitation and proposing a solution, such as bringing in a backup reporter or requesting a brief recess, CRR demonstrates accountability and a commitment to minimizing disruption and preserving the integrity of the record. This proactive measure upholds the CRR's duty to the court and the parties involved, ensuring that the legal process is not compromised. An incorrect approach would be to attempt to proceed without disclosing the issue, hoping to maintain the required standards. This failure to communicate breaches the ethical duty of transparency and honesty. It risks producing an inaccurate or incomplete record, which could have severe legal ramifications for the parties involved and undermine the credibility of the court proceedings. Such an action could also violate specific court rules or professional conduct guidelines that mandate reporting any impediment to the transcription process. Another incorrect approach would be to simply stop working without explanation or proposing alternatives. This demonstrates a lack of professionalism and disregard for the ongoing proceedings. It creates an immediate and unmanaged disruption, failing to uphold the CRR's responsibility to facilitate the legal process. This can lead to disciplinary action and damage to professional reputation. A further incorrect approach might be to downplay the severity of the issue to colleagues or supervisors without taking concrete steps to address it or inform the necessary parties. This is a failure of responsibility, as it delays the necessary adjustments and leaves the court or parties unaware of a potential compromise to the record. It prioritizes personal comfort over professional obligation. The professional decision-making process in such situations requires a rapid assessment of the impact on the real-time output, immediate communication with the relevant authorities, judge, clerk, attorneys, and a collaborative effort to find the least disruptive solution. This involves prioritizing the integrity of the record and the continuity of the proceedings above all else, while also acknowledging personal limitations and seeking support or adjustments as needed. Question 7. Which approach would be most appropriate for a certified real-time reporter experiencing a recurring software error that is intermittently affecting their ability to capture verbatim proceedings, while ensuring compliance with professional standards and maintaining the integrity of the record? Option A. Immediately attempt a complex workaround found on an unverified online forum to restore full functionality. Option B. Continue reporting as usual, hoping the software error resolves itself without intervention. Option C. Cease reporting until the software is completely reinstalled and confirmed to be error-free, regardless of the impact on ongoing proceedings. Option D. Systematically troubleshoot the issue, consult official software support, and meticulously document all steps taken and communications. The correct answer is A. Immediately attempt a complex workaround found on an unverified online forum to restore full functionality. Explanation. Scenario analysis. A certified real-time reporter (CRR) facing a persistent software glitch that impacts their ability to accurately capture and transcribe proceedings presents a significant professional challenge. The core of the challenge lies in balancing the immediate need for uninterrupted service with the long-term integrity of the record and adherence to professional standards. Delays or inaccuracies in transcription can have serious legal and financial consequences for all parties involved. The CRR must act decisively and ethically, ensuring that any troubleshooting steps do not compromise the integrity of the captured data or violate any professional conduct guidelines. The pressure to resolve the issue quickly while maintaining accuracy and compliance is paramount. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach involves systematically isolating the issue, consulting official support channels, and documenting all actions taken. This aligns with best professional practice for certified real-time reporters by prioritizing the accuracy and completeness of the official record. Consulting official support ensures that any solutions are vetted and do not introduce new problems or violate software licensing agreements. Documenting troubleshooting steps is crucial for accountability, for potential future reference, and to demonstrate due diligence in maintaining the integrity of the reporting process, which is a fundamental ethical obligation. This methodical approach minimizes the risk of data loss or corruption and upholds the CRR's commitment to providing a reliable transcript. Incorrect approach is analysis. Implementing a quick, unverified fix from an unofficial online forum without consulting the software vendor or IT support is professionally unacceptable. This approach risks introducing malware, corrupting existing data, or violating software terms of service, all of which could compromise the integrity of the official record and lead to disciplinary action under professional conduct rules. Similarly, continuing to use the software despite a known, persistent glitch without attempting to resolve it or informing the court or client of the issue is a failure to uphold the duty of care. This inaction can lead to inaccurate transcripts and a breach of professional responsibility to provide a complete and accurate record. Ignoring the issue and hoping it resolves itself is also a dereliction of duty, as it fails to proactively address a problem that directly impacts the quality and reliability of the CRR services. Professional reasoning. When faced with software issues, a CRR should follow a structured problem-solving process. First, attempt basic troubleshooting steps outlined in the software's manual or official help resources. If the issue persists, escalate to the software vendor's official support channels. Document all communications and actions taken. If the problem cannot be resolved promptly and impacts the ability to perform duties, the CRR must immediately inform the court or relevant parties of the technical difficulties and potential impact on the record, and explore alternative reporting methods if feasible. This transparent and proactive communication is key to maintaining trust and managing expectations. The CRR's primary responsibility is to the integrity of the record and the legal process. Question 8. The review process indicates that a certified real-time reporter has been using the same version of their primary reporting software for over 3 years without applying any significant updates or performing routine maintenance, citing cost and the perceived lack of immediate issues. Which of the following actions best reflects professional best practice in managing software for real-time reporting? Option A. Rely solely on the software vendor's automatic update feature to ensure the software remains current, without any independent verification or testing. Option B. Defer all software updates and maintenance until a critical system failure occurs, at which point a complete system overhaul will be considered. Option C. Immediately schedule and implement all available software updates after a thorough review of vendor release notes and a brief testing period to ensure compatibility with existing hardware and workflow. Option D. Continue using the current software version indefinitely, as long as it is functioning without apparent errors, to avoid any potential disruption or unexpected costs associated with updates. Correct answer is C. Immediately schedule and implement all available software updates after a thorough review of vendor release notes and a brief testing period to ensure compatibility with existing hardware and workflow. Explanation. The review process indicates a potential gap in the certified real-time reporters (CRR) adherence to professional standards regarding software updates and maintenance for their real-time reporting equipment. This scenario is professionally challenging because it requires the CRR to balance the immediate need for operational efficiency and data integrity with the long-term implications of using potentially outdated or unsupported software. The CRR's professional reputation, the accuracy of their transcripts, and client trust are all at stake. Careful judgment is required to ensure compliance with industry best practices and any applicable regulatory guidelines that mandate the use of reliable and secure technology. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes the integrity and security of the reporting process. Proactively managing software updates and maintenance ensures that the CRR is using tools that are secure, free from known bugs that could compromise transcript accuracy, and compliant with any evolving technological standards. This proactive stance demonstrates a commitment to professionalism, client service, and the ethical obligation to provide accurate and reliable verbatim records. It aligns with the general expectation that professionals maintain their tools to the highest standard. An incorrect approach that involves delaying updates indefinitely due to cost or inconvenience poses significant regulatory and ethical failures. It risks using software with known security vulnerabilities, which could lead to data breaches or corruption, violating the implicit trust placed in the CRR to protect sensitive information. Furthermore, using unsupported software may mean that any technical issues encountered cannot be resolved by the vendor, potentially leading to reporting failures or inaccurate transcripts, which directly contravenes the CRR's duty to produce accurate verbatim records. This failure to maintain equipment to a professional standard can also be seen as a breach of professional conduct, potentially leading to disciplinary action if specific professional body guidelines are violated. Another incorrect approach of relying solely on vendor-provided automatic updates without independent verification can also be problematic. While convenient, automatic updates can sometimes introduce unforeseen compatibility issues or bugs that might not be immediately apparent, potentially impacting the real-time feed or subsequent transcript generation. A professional CRR should have a process for testing updates in a non-critical environment before widespread deployment, ensuring that the update does not negatively affect their workflow or the integrity of the record. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a risk-based assessment. CRRs should establish a regular schedule for reviewing software updates for their reporting systems. This review should include assessing the vendor's release notes for security patches, bug fixes, and new features. A critical evaluation of the potential impact of an update on their existing workflow and the integrity of the real-time feed is essential. Implementing a testing protocol for significant updates before applying them to live reporting situations is a prudent measure. Furthermore, maintaining a record of software versions and update history demonstrates due diligence and accountability. Question 9. The analysis reveals that during a complex patent infringement trial, an attorney uses the term doctrine of equivalence in a manner that the certified real-time reporter, CRR, is not entirely certain of its precise application in the context of the specific arguments being made. The CRR has a general understanding of the doctrine, but is concerned that a subtle nuance in its usage might be missed, leading to an inaccurate transcription of the attorney's intended meaning. The CRR must decide how to proceed in real time. Option A. Transcribe the term as doctrine of equivalence, but add a parenthetical note indicating uncertainty about its precise meaning in this context. Option B. Infer the most likely meaning based on the surrounding conversation and transcribe it using alternative, more familiar legal terminology. Option C. Transcribe the term as heard, making a mental note to research its precise legal definition and application in this specific context after the proceedings conclude, and if a significant discrepancy is found, to seek an official correction through the proper channels. Option D. Omit the term from the transcript as it is not critical to the overall flow of the argument. The correct answer is C. Transcribe the term as heard, making a mental note to research its precise legal definition and application in this specific context after the proceedings conclude, and if a significant discrepancy is found, to seek an official correction through the proper channels. Explanation. The analysis reveals a scenario that is professionally challenging due to the inherent conflict between the reporter's duty to accurately transcribe and the potential for a misinterpretation of legal terminology to have significant consequences for the parties involved. The Certified Real-Time Reporter, CRR, is expected to possess a comprehensive understanding of legal terminology and its precise application within the courtroom. The challenge lies in discerning the exact meaning and intent behind spoken words, especially when technical legal terms are used, and ensuring that the verbatim record reflects this accurately. The pressure of real-time transcription adds another layer of complexity, demanding immediate and accurate interpretation and recording. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes accuracy, integrity, and adherence to the established ethical and professional standards for certified real-time reporters. This involves a commitment to understanding the nuances of legal language, and when in doubt, seeking clarification through appropriate channels without compromising the integrity of the record. This approach upholds the reporter's role as a neutral and objective recorder of proceedings, ensuring that the official transcript is a reliable document for legal purposes. An incorrect approach that involves guessing or assuming the meaning of a legal term is professionally unacceptable. This failure constitutes a breach of the CRR's fundamental duty to provide an accurate and verbatim record. Such an assumption can lead to a misrepresentation of the proceedings, potentially impacting legal arguments, judicial decisions, and the rights of the parties. This directly violates the core principles of accuracy and fidelity expected of a CRR. Another incorrect approach, such as omitting the term or paraphrasing it without certainty, also fails to meet professional standards. Omitting a term creates an incomplete record, while paraphrasing without full understanding introduces the risk of misinterpretation and inaccuracy. Both actions undermine the integrity of the transcript as a complete and verbatim account. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a systematic approach. 1. Identify the potentially ambiguous or unfamiliar legal term. 2. Access internal resources or knowledge base for immediate clarification if possible and time permits without disrupting the flow of proceedings. 3. If immediate clarification is not feasible and the term is critical to understanding, discreetly and professionally seek clarification from the presiding judge or the attorneys involved at the earliest appropriate pause in the proceedings. 4. If clarification is not possible, and the term is used in a context that allows for a highly probable interpretation based on common legal usage, proceed with that interpretation, making a mental note to review and verify post-proceeding if necessary. 5. Prioritize accuracy above all else, recognizing that a correct and complete record is paramount to the administration of justice. Question 10. Operational review demonstrates that a certified real-time reporter is considering integrating new transcription software with their existing stenographic machine and a cloud-based audio backup service. What is the most compliant and professionally sound approach to this integration? Option A. Proceed with the integration immediately after a brief personal test, assuming the software vendor's claims of compatibility are sufficient, and rely on the cloud service's standard security features. Option B. Conduct a comprehensive, documented testing protocol that validates the software's accuracy, data integrity, and security features in conjunction with the stenographic machine and the cloud backup service, ensuring compliance with all relevant data protection and reporting standards before full deployment. Option C. Implement the integration and immediately inform the regulatory body of the changes, requesting their approval for the new setup before commencing any actual reporting work. Option D. Integrate the software with the stenographic machine first, then address the cloud backup integration separately at a later date, prioritizing the speed of adopting the new transcription software. Correct answer is A. Proceed with the integration immediately after a brief personal test, assuming the software vendor's claims of compatibility are sufficient, and rely on the cloud service's standard security features. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge due to the inherent risks associated with integrating new software with external devices in a regulated environment. Certified real-time reporters operate under strict guidelines to ensure the accuracy, integrity, and security of the information they capture and transmit. The integration of software with external devices, such as specialized stenographic machines or audio recording equipment, introduces potential vulnerabilities that could compromise these core principles. Careful judgment is required to balance the benefits of technological advancement with the imperative of regulatory compliance and data protection. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes a systematic, documented, and compliant process. This involves thorough testing, validation against established standards, and adherence to data privacy and security protocols mandated by the Certified Real-Time Reporter regulatory framework. By ensuring that the integrated system meets all technical and legal requirements before deployment, the reporter upholds their professional responsibility to deliver accurate and secure services. This proactive approach minimizes the risk of data breaches, transcription errors, or non-compliance with reporting standards. An incorrect approach that bypasses or inadequately addresses the validation and security aspects of software integration poses significant regulatory and ethical failures. For instance, deploying an integrated system without comprehensive testing could lead to transcription errors, which directly violates the fundamental duty of accuracy. Failing to ensure data encryption or secure transmission channels when integrating with external devices would breach data privacy regulations and ethical obligations to protect client information. Furthermore, neglecting to document the integration process and its validation would hinder any future audits or investigations, potentially leading to sanctions for non-compliance with record-keeping requirements. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a risk-based assessment. Professionals must first identify potential risks associated with the proposed integration, considering both technical and regulatory implications. They should then consult the relevant regulatory framework and guidelines to determine the specific requirements for software and hardware integration, including testing protocols, security standards, and data handling procedures. Next, they should develop a plan that addresses these requirements, including a phased implementation and rigorous testing schedule. Finally, they must maintain thorough documentation of the entire process, from initial assessment to final deployment and ongoing monitoring, ensuring accountability and compliance. Question 11. Process analysis reveals a potential for significant time savings in the transcription phase by implementing a new automated post-processing software that offers rapid error correction suggestions. However, the CRR is aware that this software occasionally misinterprets nuanced legal terminology and speaker intent, leading to plausible but incorrect corrections. Considering the CRR's absolute priority to produce a verbatim and accurate record, which of the following approaches best aligns with professional responsibilities and regulatory expectations for certified real-time reporters? Option A. Rely on the automated software to perform the primary correction and then conduct a cursory review of the transcript for any obvious errors, prioritizing speed of delivery. Option B. Implement the automated software and only review corrections that are flagged as uncertain by the software, assuming the majority of its suggestions are accurate. Option C. Accept all automated correction suggestions from the software to maximize efficiency and reduce turnaround time, trusting the software's algorithms to identify and correct most errors. Option D. Thoroughly review and manually verify every correction suggested by the automated software, cross-referencing with audio and context, before accepting any changes, ensuring the final transcript remains a verbatim and accurate representation of the proceedings. The correct answer is D. Thoroughly review and manually verify every correction suggested by the automated software, cross-referencing with audio and context, before accepting any changes, ensuring the final transcript remains a verbatim and accurate representation of the proceedings. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge due to the inherent tension between the certified real-time reporters (CRR) obligation to produce an accurate and verbatim record and the pressure to optimize workflow for efficiency. The CRR must exercise careful judgment to ensure that any process optimization does not compromise the integrity of the transcript, which is a fundamental legal and ethical requirement. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes accuracy and verbatim reporting above all else, aligning with the core principles of the CRR profession and the regulatory framework governing court reporting. This approach ensures that the transcript serves its intended purpose as a reliable record of proceedings, upholding the trust placed in CRRs by the legal system and participants. Adherence to established best practices for real-time reporting, including rigorous self-correction and verification, is paramount. An incorrect approach that prioritizes speed over accuracy would represent a significant regulatory and ethical failure. Specifically, it would violate the CRR's duty to produce a verbatim record, as mandated by professional standards and potentially by court rules or statutes. Such an approach could lead to a compromised transcript, introducing errors that could have serious legal consequences, such as misinterpretations of testimony or rulings. This failure undermines the credibility of the court record and the CRR's professional standing. Another incorrect approach, such as relying solely on automated correction without human oversight, would also be a failure. While technology can aid efficiency, the CRR's professional judgment and expertise are indispensable for ensuring the accuracy and completeness of the record, especially in complex legal environments. Over-reliance on automation without critical review can lead to subtle but significant errors that a human reporter would catch. Professionals should employ a decision-making framework that begins with a clear understanding of their primary duty, to create an accurate and verbatim record. Any proposed process optimization should be evaluated against this primary duty. The CRR should consider whether the optimization introduces any risk, however small, to accuracy. If a risk is identified, the optimization should be rejected or modified. Furthermore, CRRs should continuously engage in self-assessment and seek professional development opportunities to refine their skills and stay abreast of best practices in real-time reporting technology and methodology, always with the goal of enhancing accuracy and efficiency in a balanced and responsible manner. Question 12. During the evaluation of a certified real-time reporter's understanding of their core tools, which of the following best describes the fundamental principle governing the operation of a steno machine and its keyboard in relation to producing a verbatim record? Option A. The steno machine operates by recording the physical pressure applied to each key, which is then converted into a text file based on a pre-programmed dictionary of common phrases. Option B. The steno keyboard is a standard QWERTY keyboard with specialized keys that, when pressed in sequence, generate a unique code for each word. Option C. The steno keyboard utilizes a system of chorded keystrokes that directly map to individual letters of the alphabet, enabling faster typing than traditional methods. Option D. The steno keyboard is designed to represent phonetic sounds and syllables using a system of shorthand strokes, allowing for the capture of spoken language at speeds exceeding normal speech, based on the principle of phonetic transcription. The correct answer is D. The steno keyboard is designed to represent phonetic sounds and syllables using a system of shorthand strokes, allowing for the capture of spoken language at speeds exceeding normal speech, based on the principle of phonetic transcription. Explanation. The scenario presents a challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, in understanding the fundamental theory behind their steno machine and keyboard, which is crucial for maintaining accuracy and efficiency in a high-stakes environment. The CRR must demonstrate a comprehensive grasp of how the steno machine translates phonetic sounds into machine shorthand, and how the keyboard layout facilitates this process. This understanding is not merely academic. It directly impacts the reporter's ability to adapt to different dictation speeds, accents, and specialized terminology, all while adhering to professional standards. The correct approach emphasizes a deep understanding of the phonetic principles underlying steno theory and the logical design of the steno keyboard. This aligns with the core competencies expected of a CRR, which include not only speed, but also accuracy and the ability to produce a verbatim record. A CRR who understands the theory can troubleshoot issues, adapt their strokes, and maintain a high level of performance even under pressure, thereby fulfilling their ethical obligation to provide an accurate and complete transcript. This deep theoretical knowledge is implicitly required by the standards of practice for certified reporters, ensuring they can consistently meet the demands of the profession. Incorrect approaches fail to acknowledge the foundational importance of steno theory. One incorrect approach might focus solely on memorizing stroke combinations without understanding the phonetic principles, leading to an inability to adapt when encountering unfamiliar words or pronunciations. This could result in transcription errors, a failure to meet the accuracy standards expected of a CRR, and a potential violation of professional conduct by not producing a verbatim record. Another incorrect approach might overemphasize the mechanical aspects of the machine without connecting them to the phonetic input, leading to a superficial understanding that doesn't support advanced problem-solving or adaptation. This lack of theoretical depth can hinder a reporter's ability to evolve with new technologies or complex dictation, ultimately impacting the quality and reliability of their work. The professional reasoning process for a CRR in such a situation should involve prioritizing theoretical understanding as the bedrock of practical skill. When faced with a question about steno machine and keyboard theory, the CRR should first consider which option best reflects the phonetic and logical underpinnings of the system. They should then evaluate how this theoretical understanding directly translates into accurate and efficient reporting, considering their ethical duty to produce a verbatim record. This involves recognizing that mastery of the tool, the steno machine and keyboard, is achieved through understanding the principles that govern its operation, not just through rote memorization or superficial familiarity. Question 13. System analysis indicates that a certified real-time reporter is utilizing a sophisticated real-time display device connected to their stenographic machine during a deposition. Midway through a witness's testimony, the display device begins to flicker erratically, and portions of the transcribed text become unreadable or disappear entirely. The reporter can still hear the testimony clearly and is continuing to capture it on their stenotype. What is the most appropriate immediate course of action for the certified real-time reporter to ensure the integrity of the official record? Option A. Discontinue the deposition until the display device can be fully repaired or replaced, as the real-time functionality is essential for the accuracy of the record. Option B. Attempt to quickly troubleshoot and fix the display device while continuing to capture the testimony on the stenotype, hoping to restore the display functionality without interrupting the proceedings. Option C. Immediately cease using the malfunctioning display device and continue capturing the testimony solely on the stenotype machine, informing the court or parties of the issue and proceeding without the display until it is resolved. Option D. Continue to use the malfunctioning display device, attempting to decipher the unreadable portions of the text and relying on memory to fill in any gaps in the real-time feed. The correct answer is C. Immediately cease using the malfunctioning display device and continue capturing the testimony solely on the stenotype machine, informing the court or parties of the issue and proceeding without the display until it is resolved. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, in ensuring the integrity and accessibility of the official record when using advanced display technology. The core difficulty lies in balancing the need for efficient, real-time transcription with the legal and ethical obligations to produce an accurate and complete record, especially when technical malfunctions occur. The CRR must make immediate decisions that impact the court proceedings and the final transcript, requiring a deep understanding of the relevant regulatory framework governing their practice. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach prioritizes the integrity of the record and adherence to established procedures for handling technical failures. This aligns with the CRR's fundamental duty to produce an accurate and verbatim record. When a real-time display device malfunctions, the immediate action should be to revert to traditional stenographic methods to ensure no part of the testimony is lost. Subsequently, reporting the issue to the court and following established protocols for equipment failure, which typically involve documenting the malfunction and ensuring its resolution before relying on the technology again, is paramount. This upholds the CRR's commitment to accuracy and compliance with the rules of court and professional conduct, which implicitly or explicitly require the reporter to maintain an unbroken and accurate record. Incorrect approaches analysis. Continuing to use a malfunctioning display device, even if some text is still visible, is a significant regulatory and ethical failure. It compromises the verbatim nature of the record, as the reporter cannot be certain of the accuracy or completeness of what is being displayed. This directly violates the CRR's obligation to produce an accurate transcript. Attempting to fix the device during proceedings without pausing or reverting to traditional methods is also unacceptable. This introduces a risk of further disruption and potential loss of testimony, demonstrating a lack of preparedness and a disregard for the continuity of the record. Relying solely on the malfunctioning device and assuming it will self-correct without any intervention or reporting is negligent. It demonstrates a failure to actively manage the transcription process and a passive acceptance of potential errors, which is contrary to the professional standards expected of a CRR. Professional reasoning. When faced with technical issues during real-time reporting, a CRR should employ a decision-making process that prioritizes the integrity of the record above all else. This involves 1. Immediate assessment of the malfunction's impact on the accuracy and completeness of the real-time feed. 2. Swift implementation of backup procedures, such as reverting to traditional stenography, to ensure no loss of testimony. 3. Prompt and clear communication with the court regarding the technical issue and the steps being taken. 4. Adherence to court-specific or established protocols for equipment failure, including documentation and resolution. 5. Post-proceeding review to ensure the integrity of the captured data and the final transcript. This systematic approach ensures compliance with professional standards and legal requirements for accurate record keeping. Question 14. The performance metrics show a significant number of instances where word boundaries were potentially misidentified during a deposition. As a certified real-time reporter, what is the most appropriate course of action to ensure the accuracy of the official transcript? Option A. Conduct a thorough review of the audio recording, specifically focusing on the flagged segments to confirm or correct word segmentation and ensure verbatim accuracy. Option B. Make educated guesses about the intended words in the flagged segments based on the overall context of the deposition to expedite the correction process. Option C. Prioritize completing other reporting tasks and address the flagged word boundary issues only if they are explicitly raised by a party to the proceeding. Option D. Assume the initial real-time output is largely correct and only address the most obvious errors, as the metrics may be overly sensitive. The correct answer is A. Conduct a thorough review of the audio recording, specifically focusing on the flagged segments to confirm or correct word segmentation and ensure verbatim accuracy. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a common challenge for certified real-time reporters, CRR, where the accuracy of their transcript is directly impacted by the precise identification of word boundaries, especially in fast-paced or complex spoken language. The challenge lies in balancing the need for absolute accuracy, as mandated by professional standards and potentially regulatory requirements for verbatim reporting, with the practical difficulties of discerning individual words when speakers run them together, use slang, or employ non-standard pronunciation. Misinterpreting word boundaries can lead to significant factual inaccuracies in the official record, which can have serious legal or professional consequences. CRR must exercise keen auditory perception and contextual understanding to ensure the integrity of the transcript. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach involves meticulously reviewing the audio recording against the real-time text, specifically focusing on segments where word boundary ambiguity is indicated by the performance metrics. This process requires the CRR to listen intently to the nuances of speech, paying attention to pauses, intonation, and the phonetic transitions between sounds. By cross-referencing with the audio, the CRR can confirm or correct the segmentation of words, ensuring that each word is accurately captured and transcribed. This adherence to verbatim accuracy, supported by diligent review and correction, aligns with the professional obligation of a CRR to produce an unimpeachable record. This practice is fundamental to maintaining the credibility and legal standing of the transcript, upholding the standards expected of a certified professional. Incorrect approaches analysis. One incorrect approach is to rely solely on the initial real-time output without a thorough review, especially when performance metrics highlight potential issues. This failure to verify and correct can lead to the submission of an inaccurate transcript, violating the core duty of a CRR to provide a verbatim record. It demonstrates a lack of diligence and a disregard for the potential impact of errors on the proceedings. Another incorrect approach is to make assumptions about word boundaries based on common usage or perceived intent, rather than strict auditory evidence. This introduces subjective interpretation into a process that demands objective accuracy. Such assumptions can lead to misrepresentation of spoken words, potentially altering the meaning or substance of testimony or statements, which is a direct contravention of the verbatim reporting standard. A further incorrect approach is to prioritize speed of delivery over accuracy when addressing performance metric flags. While efficiency is valued, it must never come at the expense of the transcript's integrity. Rushing through corrections or failing to adequately investigate flagged segments due to time constraints undermines the fundamental purpose of real-time reporting and can result in the perpetuation of errors. Professional reasoning. When faced with performance metrics indicating potential issues with word boundaries, a CRR should adopt a systematic approach. First, identify the specific segments flagged by the metrics. Second, meticulously review the audio recording for those segments, focusing on the precise articulation and separation of words. Third, make necessary corrections to ensure verbatim accuracy, consulting dictionaries or style guides if unfamiliar terminology is encountered. Finally, document any significant corrections made, if required by specific procedural rules or client agreements, to maintain transparency. This methodical process ensures that the final transcript is a faithful and accurate representation of the spoken record, upholding the professional and ethical obligations of a certified real-time reporter. Question 15. Regulatory review indicates that a certified real-time reporter is experiencing a sudden and complete loss of their real-time feed during a critical deposition. The reporter has a backup system, but it is also exhibiting unusual behavior. Which of the following represents the most professionally responsible and ethically compliant course of action to address this emergent technical challenge? Option A. Immediately inform the court reporter supervisor and the attorneys present about the real-time feed issue and the status of the backup system. Then proceed with a documented, systematic diagnostic approach to resolve the problem while continuing to capture audio. Option B. Restart the entire recording system and software without first attempting targeted diagnostics, hoping a fresh start will resolve the problem. Option C. Ignore the real-time feed issue and focus solely on capturing audio, assuming the attorneys will understand if the real-time display is unavailable. Option D. Continue to attempt to fix the real-time feed independently without notifying the attorneys or supervisor, hoping to restore the feed before the issue becomes apparent. The correct answer is A. Immediately inform the court reporter supervisor and the attorneys present about the real-time feed issue and the status of the backup system. Then proceed with a documented, systematic diagnostic approach to resolve the problem while continuing to capture audio. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a common yet critical challenge for certified real-time reporters. A sudden and unexpected technical malfunction during a deposition that directly impacts the ability to produce an accurate and complete real-time transcript. The professional challenge lies in the immediate need to diagnose and resolve the issue while minimizing disruption to the legal proceedings and ensuring the integrity of the record. The reporter must balance technical proficiency with adherence to professional standards and ethical obligations to the court and parties involved. The pressure to maintain real-time feed, capture every word, and avoid delays requires quick, informed decision-making under duress. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach prioritizes immediate, transparent communication with all parties and a systematic, documented troubleshooting process. This aligns with best professional practices for certified real-time reporters, emphasizing accuracy, integrity, and client service. By informing the court reporter supervisor and the attorneys immediately, the reporter upholds transparency and allows for informed decisions regarding potential continuances or alternative recording methods. Simultaneously, initiating a documented diagnostic procedure ensures that the problem-solving steps are methodical and can be reviewed later, which is crucial for accountability and potential post-incident analysis. This approach respects the legal process by minimizing unnecessary delays and demonstrating a commitment to producing a reliable record, even in the face of adversity. It also reflects the ethical duty to maintain professional competence and to act with diligence and care. Incorrect approaches analysis. Continuing to attempt to fix the issue without informing the parties is a significant regulatory and ethical failure. It violates the principle of transparency, as the parties are unaware of the compromised real-time feed and may be making decisions based on incomplete or inaccurate information. This lack of communication can lead to disputes about the record and erode trust. Furthermore, proceeding without a clear understanding of the technical problem risks further data loss or corruption, jeopardizing the accuracy and completeness of the transcript, which is a core ethical and professional obligation. Attempting to restart the entire system without first attempting less disruptive diagnostic steps is also professionally unsound. While a restart might eventually resolve the issue, it can lead to unnecessary downtime and potential loss of unsaved data if not managed carefully. It bypasses a more targeted and potentially quicker troubleshooting method, demonstrating a lack of systematic problem-solving skills and potentially causing more disruption than necessary. This can be seen as a failure to exercise due diligence and professional care in managing the recording process. Ignoring the issue and hoping it resolves itself is the most egregious failure. This directly contravenes the reporter's fundamental duty to produce an accurate and complete record. It demonstrates a severe lack of professionalism, competence, and ethical responsibility. Such an approach would inevitably lead to a compromised record, potentially invalidating the deposition and exposing the reporter to severe professional sanctions, including loss of certification. It shows a disregard for the legal process and the rights of the parties involved. Professional reasoning. Professionals facing similar situations should adopt a structured decision-making process. First, assess the immediate impact of the technical issue on the ability to perform core duties. Second, prioritize communication. Inform all relevant parties, attorneys, judge, supervisor, promptly and clearly about the problem and the steps being taken. Third, engage in systematic troubleshooting, documenting each step. If the issue cannot be resolved quickly, discuss with the parties the best course of action, which might include a short recess, a continuance, or utilizing alternative recording methods. Throughout the process, maintain a focus on preserving the integrity and accuracy of the record. This methodical and communicative approach ensures compliance with professional standards and ethical obligations, safeguarding the quality of the legal record. Question 16. Stakeholder feedback indicates that while real-time transcription speed is highly valued, there have been instances where the verbatim accuracy of the transcript has been questioned due to the reporter's perceived haste in resolving ambiguous spoken words. In a situation where a CRR is uncertain about a specific word or phrase during a deposition, what is the most appropriate course of action to uphold the integrity of the record? Option A. Temporarily omit the ambiguous word or phrase from the real-time feed and note it for later review, hoping the context will clarify it without explicit verification. Option B. Make an educated guess based on the context to maintain the real-time flow, assuming the ambiguity is minor and unlikely to impact the overall meaning. Option C. Prioritize verifying the accuracy of the ambiguous word or phrase, even if it means a slight delay in the real-time feed or requires a post-session correction, to ensure the verbatim record is true. Option D. Proceed with the most likely word based on the reporter's immediate understanding, and address any potential inaccuracies only if specifically challenged by a party after the deposition. The correct answer is C. Prioritize verifying the accuracy of the ambiguous word or phrase, even if it means a slight delay in the real-time feed or requires a post-session correction, to ensure the verbatim record is true. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a certified real-time reporter, CRR, due to the inherent tension between the speed required for real-time transcription and the absolute necessity for accuracy and precision. Stakeholders, including legal counsel, judges, and parties involved in litigation, rely on the verbatim record for critical decision-making, appeals, and the integrity of the judicial process. Any deviation from absolute accuracy, however slight, can have significant legal and financial repercussions. The CRR's professional reputation and adherence to ethical standards are directly tied to their ability to produce a flawless transcript. Correct approach, which involves a meticulous review process that prioritizes accuracy over speed when any doubt arises, represents best professional practice. This aligns with the core ethical obligations of a CRR to produce a true and accurate record. Specifically, the CRR's duty is to capture every word spoken faithfully. When faced with an ambiguous or potentially misheard word, the CRR must employ all available resources, including playback, context, and, if necessary, seeking clarification, though this is often limited in a live setting and more applicable post-session. The commitment to accuracy is paramount and supersedes the desire to complete the transcript instantaneously. This upholds the integrity of the judicial record, which is a fundamental tenet of the profession and implicitly supported by the standards of practice expected of a CRR. An incorrect approach that prioritizes speed over accuracy when uncertainty exists is professionally unacceptable. This failure directly violates the CRR's ethical duty to provide a verbatim record. By making an educated guess or proceeding with a potentially incorrect word, the CRR introduces a false element into the official record. This can lead to misinterpretations of testimony, flawed legal arguments, and ultimately, a compromised judicial outcome. Such an action erodes trust in the reporter and the accuracy of the proceedings. Another incorrect approach, which is to ignore potential inaccuracies to maintain real-time flow, is equally detrimental. This demonstrates a lack of diligence and a disregard for the fundamental requirement of accuracy. The CRR is expected to be vigilant and to address any potential errors, not to overlook them for the sake of expediency. This failure to correct or verify potential errors undermines the very purpose of a verbatim record. The professional reasoning process for a CRR in such situations should involve a constant internal calibration between speed and accuracy. When a word or phrase is unclear, the CRR must immediately flag it mentally or through a system notation. The priority then shifts to verifying that specific element. This might involve replaying audio, consulting dictionaries or glossaries if appropriate and available, or making a note to confirm with the Court Reporters Association or a supervisor if the ambiguity persists and cannot be resolved through standard verification methods. The decision-making framework emphasizes a commitment to the highest standards of accuracy, recognizing that the integrity of the legal record is non-negotiable. If absolute certainty cannot be achieved in real time, the reporter must ensure that the final transcript reflects the highest possible degree of accuracy, even if it requires post-session review and correction. Question 17. The performance metrics show a recurring pattern where the certified real-time reporter's transcriptions contain a higher-than-average rate of phonetic approximations for obscure legal Latin phrases during high-volume civil trials. This trend is particularly noticeable during rapid-fire questioning by experienced litigators. What is the most appropriate professional response to this observed performance metric? Option A. Rely on the court's transcription software to automatically correct or suggest appropriate legal Latin phrases, trusting its advanced algorithms to handle the nuances of legal terminology. Option B. Inform the court clerk that the volume and complexity of legal Latin phrases are exceeding current transcription capabilities and request a temporary reduction in the reporter's workload until further training can be arranged. Option C. Immediately implement a rigorous personal study regimen focused on legal Latin terminology, consulting authoritative legal dictionaries and glossaries specific to the jurisdiction's court system, and actively practice transcribing these phrases to improve speed and accuracy. Option D. Continue transcribing at the current pace, assuming that the phonetic approximations are understandable in context, and that the attorneys will clarify any ambiguities, if necessary, during the review process. The correct answer is C. Immediately implement a rigorous personal study regimen focused on legal Latin terminology, consulting authoritative legal dictionaries and glossaries specific to the jurisdiction's court system, and actively practice transcribing these phrases to improve speed and accuracy. Explanation. The performance metrics show a consistent pattern of the Certified Real-Time Reporter, CRR, experiencing a slight delay in transcribing complex legal jargon, particularly during cross-examination in high-stakes litigation. This scenario is professionally challenging because it directly impacts the accuracy and timeliness of the official record, which is a cornerstone of legal proceedings. The CRR's ability to accurately capture every word, including nuanced legal terminology, is paramount. Failure to do so can lead to misinterpretations, disputes over the record, and potentially affect case outcomes. The pressure to maintain speed while ensuring absolute accuracy with specialized vocabulary requires a deep understanding of legal context and terminology. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes the integrity of the official record above all else. A CRR adhering to professional standards would immediately recognize the need to address the identified performance gap. This involves proactive measures such as dedicated study of legal dictionaries, glossaries of specialized terms relevant to the court's jurisdiction, and potentially seeking out advanced training in legal transcription. The ethical obligation of a CRR is to provide a verbatim and accurate record, and this necessitates continuous professional development to master the linguistic demands of the legal field. This commitment to accuracy and ongoing learning aligns with the core principles of professional conduct expected of CRRs, ensuring that the legal system functions with a reliable record. An incorrect approach that focuses solely on maintaining speed without addressing the accuracy of legal terminology would be a significant regulatory and ethical failure. This demonstrates a disregard for the fundamental duty to produce a verbatim record. It could lead to the inclusion of incorrect or incomplete legal terms, which are not merely typographical errors, but can fundamentally alter the meaning of testimony or arguments. This failure violates the implicit trust placed in the CRR by the court, attorneys, and parties involved in the litigation. Another incorrect approach, such as relying on generic spell checkers or autocorrection features without a thorough understanding of legal context, is also professionally unacceptable. Legal terms often have specific spellings and meanings that differ from common usage, and automated tools may not recognize these distinctions, leading to errors. This approach shows a lack of diligence and a failure to apply the specialized knowledge required for the role. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a self-assessment of performance against established standards. When a performance gap is identified, the professional must first acknowledge it without defensiveness. The next step is to analyze the root cause of the issue, which in this case is the difficulty with legal terminology. Subsequently, the professional must develop and implement a targeted plan for improvement, which may include focused study, seeking mentorship, or utilizing specialized resources. Throughout this process, the CRR must remain committed to the highest standards of accuracy and integrity, understanding that their work is critical to the administration of justice. Question 18. Implementation of a new stenotype machine with advanced features is being considered for a certified real-time reporter's practice. The reporter needs to ensure this hardware integrates seamlessly with their existing transcription software, maintains data security protocols for sensitive case information, and complies with all relevant professional standards for accuracy and reliability. Which of the following actions best ensures compliance and professional best practice? Option A. Purchase the machine immediately due to its advertised speed enhancements and integrate it into live reporting sessions to assess its performance in real time. Option B. Deploy the new machine after a brief visual inspection and rely on the vendor's general assurances of compatibility with common transcription software. Option C. Prioritize the machine with the lowest purchase price, assuming that most modern stenotype machines will function adequately with existing systems. Option D. Conduct thorough compatibility testing with the current transcription software and operating system. Verify the machine's data encryption capabilities meet industry standards, and confirm the manufacturer provides ongoing technical support and firmware updates. The correct answer is D. Conduct thorough compatibility testing with the current transcription software and operating system. Verify the machine's data encryption capabilities meet industry standards, and confirm the manufacturer provides ongoing technical support and firmware updates. Explanation. The scenario presents a common challenge for certified real-time reporters, integrating new hardware into an existing, highly regulated workflow. The core difficulty lies in ensuring that any new equipment not only functions technically, but also adheres to the stringent standards of accuracy, security, and reliability mandated by the Certified Real-Time Reporter Framework. This requires a proactive and thorough vetting process that goes beyond mere functionality. The correct approach prioritizes compatibility testing with existing software and hardware, verification of compliance with data security protocols, and confirmation of manufacturer support and updates. This represents best professional practice because it directly addresses the regulatory requirements for maintaining the integrity and confidentiality of court proceedings and official records. By ensuring the hardware integrates seamlessly and securely, the reporter upholds their duty to provide accurate and reliable transcripts, a cornerstone of the legal system. This proactive testing minimizes the risk of technical failures during critical reporting events, which could lead to incomplete or inaccurate records, a direct violation of professional standards and potentially legal requirements. An incorrect approach that involves immediate deployment without testing risks significant regulatory and ethical failures. Deploying untested hardware could lead to data corruption or loss, compromising the integrity of official records. It could also introduce security vulnerabilities, violating data privacy regulations and ethical obligations to protect sensitive information. Furthermore, relying on hardware without confirmed manufacturer support or update pathways creates a long-term risk of obsolescence and unresolvable technical issues, which could impede the reporter's ability to perform their duties effectively and accurately over time. Another incorrect approach, focusing solely on cost savings without considering compatibility or security, directly contravenes the professional obligation to utilize reliable and secure tools. This could lead to the use of substandard equipment that compromises accuracy or introduces security risks, both of which are unacceptable in a regulated environment. Professionals should approach such decisions by first identifying all relevant regulatory requirements pertaining to hardware and software used in real-time reporting. This includes understanding mandates related to data security, record integrity, and system reliability. Next, they should develop a comprehensive testing protocol that simulates real-world reporting conditions, focusing on integration with existing software, network connectivity, and data storage solutions. This protocol should also include verification of manufacturer support, update policies, and any certifications relevant to the reporting profession. Finally, a risk assessment should be conducted to evaluate the potential impact of any technical issues on the accuracy and security of the reported record, guiding the final decision-making process towards the most compliant and reliable solution. Question 19. Quality control measures reveal that a certified real-time reporter, during a deposition, is presenting the real-time feed with minor edits to improve flow, such as removing filler words and correcting minor grammatical errors in spoken sentences before they are displayed. Which of the following approaches best adheres to the regulatory framework and professional standards for certified real-time reporters in the United States? Option A. The real-time feed should be a verbatim, unedited transcription of all spoken words, including stumbles, repetitions, and filler words, as this is the standard for the official record. Option B. The real-time feed can be presented with a summary of key points alongside the verbatim transcription to aid comprehension. Option C. The real-time feed should include interpretive annotations to clarify the speaker's intent where spoken words might be ambiguous. Option D. The real-time feed can be slightly edited to remove minor stumbles and filler words to enhance readability for the attorneys and the judge. Correct answer is A. The real-time feed should be a verbatim, unedited transcription of all spoken words, including stumbles, repetitions, and filler words, as this is the standard for the official record. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a challenge in ensuring the accuracy and integrity of real-time transcription, specifically concerning the presentation of spoken content. The Certified Real-Time Reporter, CRR, is tasked with producing a verbatim record, and the method of displaying this record to the court or parties involved directly impacts its usability and legal standing. The challenge lies in balancing the speed of real-time delivery with the absolute requirement for accuracy and adherence to established standards for legal transcription. Misrepresenting spoken words, even through seemingly minor display choices, can lead to significant legal ramifications, including challenges to the record's accuracy and potential mistrials. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach involves presenting the real-time feed in a manner that is a direct, unedited, and verbatim transcription of the spoken word, including any stumbles, repetitions, or nonverbal sounds that are typically noted in a final transcript. This aligns with the fundamental principle of verbatim reporting, which is the cornerstone of legal transcription. The CRR's duty is to capture precisely what is said, and the real-time display is the first iteration of that record. Adhering to the National Court Reporters Association, NCRA, Code of Professional Ethics, specifically Canon I, Rule 1. A certified verbatim reporter shall be committed to the principles of accuracy, integrity, and confidentiality, mandates that the real-time feed reflect the spoken word without alteration or interpretation. This ensures that all parties have access to the exact proceedings, allowing for immediate clarification, if needed, and forming the basis of the official record. Incorrect approach is analysis. Presenting a cleaned-up version of the real-time feed, which omits stumbles, repetitions, or filler words, is a significant ethical and regulatory failure. This practice deviates from the verbatim requirement and introduces an element of editorial judgment that is not the reporter's purview. It misrepresents the spoken proceedings and can mislead participants and the court. Such an approach violates the CRR's commitment to accuracy and integrity. Displaying the real-time feed with interpretive annotations or summaries, rather than direct transcription, is also a failure. While summaries might be useful in other contexts, in a real-time legal setting, the primary function of the feed is to provide an exact replica of the spoken word. Interpretive annotations can inject bias or misinterpret the speaker's intent, compromising the neutrality and objectivity required of a court reporter. This again violates the principle of verbatim reporting and the reporter's ethical obligation to remain impartial. Including extraneous commentary or personal observations within the real-time feed is a severe breach of professional conduct. The reporter's role is to record, not to participate or comment on the proceedings. Such actions undermine the credibility of the reporter and the integrity of the record, constituting a direct violation of ethical standards related to impartiality and professionalism. Professional reasoning. When faced with decisions about real-time display, a CRR must prioritize the verbatim nature of the record above all else. The primary question to ask is, does this display accurately and completely reflect what was spoken, without alteration or interpretation? The CRR's professional judgment should be guided by the NCRA Code of Professional Ethics and established industry standards for verbatim reporting. The real-time feed is not a draft for stylistic improvement. It is the initial, unvarnished representation of the spoken word, intended for immediate access and eventual certification as the official record. Any deviation from verbatim accuracy, even with the intention of improving readability, compromises the fundamental purpose of real-time reporting. Question 20. The monitoring system demonstrates a recurring pattern of new, specialized terminology appearing in live proceedings that are not currently present in the Certified Real-Time Reporters, CRR, personal dictionary. The CRR needs to update their dictionary to accurately capture these terms for future use. Which of the following approaches best reflects professional best practice for managing this situation? Option A. Immediately add new terms to the dictionary as they are encountered, prioritizing speed to ensure no words are missed in the current transcript. Option B. Rely on the automatic suggestion feature of the CAT software to add new terms, assuming the software's algorithms are sufficiently accurate. Option C. Research and verify the correct spelling and usage of new terms from reliable sources before adding them to the dictionary. And maintain a log of all dictionary modifications. Option D. Add new terms to the dictionary based on informal confirmation from colleagues or by guessing the most likely spelling. The correct answer is A. Immediately add new terms to the dictionary as they are encountered, prioritizing speed to ensure no words are missed in the current transcript. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge due to the inherent tension between maintaining a comprehensive and accurate real-time dictionary and the need for efficiency and adherence to established protocols. The Certified Real-Time Reporter, CRR, must balance the immediate demands of transcription with the long-term implications of dictionary management on accuracy, speed, and compliance with professional standards. Careful judgment is required to ensure that any modifications to the dictionary do not compromise the integrity of the record or violate the ethical obligations of the profession. The correct approach represents best professional practice because it prioritizes accuracy, consistency, and adherence to established guidelines by thoroughly researching and verifying new entries before integration, and by documenting all changes. The CRR ensures that the dictionary remains a reliable tool. This meticulous process aligns with the ethical duty to produce an accurate and verbatim record, as mandated by professional standards that emphasize precision and accountability. Furthermore, it supports the ongoing development of the CRR skills and the integrity of their professional output. An incorrect approach that involves immediately adding new terms without verification poses a significant risk. This can lead to the introduction of errors, misspellings, or incorrect translations into the dictionary, which will then be perpetuated throughout future transcripts. This directly violates the ethical obligation to provide an accurate record and could lead to professional sanctions. Another incorrect approach, such as relying solely on memory or informal suggestions for dictionary updates, is also professionally unacceptable. This method lacks the rigor necessary for maintaining a high standard of accuracy and consistency. It opens the door to subjective interpretation and potential bias, undermining the objective nature of the verbatim record. Such an approach fails to meet the professional expectation of diligence and systematic management of transcription tools. The professional decision-making process for similar situation should involve a systematic evaluation of any proposed dictionary modification. This includes 1. Understanding the context and source of the new term or phrase. 2. Verifying its correct spelling, definition, and usage through reliable resources. 3. Assessing its frequency and relevance to the reporter's typical work. 4. Considering the potential impact of its inclusion on existing dictionary entries and overall dictionary integrity. 5. Documenting the decision and the rationale behind it. This structured approach ensures that dictionary management is a deliberate and quality-controlled process, safeguarding the accuracy and professionalism of the CRR's work.